A very good morning to all our Sports Today family members. These are the latest sporting headlines doing the rounds this Thursday. The humiliation continues because India are still not able to cope up with the fact that you've lost by 408 runs and have suffered yet another whitewash in the space of 12 months at home. More than the loss, it is the way how India's body language was on the fifth day which left many people disillusioned and heartbroken. One of them was Ravichandran Ashwin. Ashwin was really heartbroken by the fact that, okay, at least show some fight, but there was no fight at all. In just 3.5 sessions, or maybe 2.5 sessions, India were blown away by South Africa. And that is why this loss will hurt a lot more. Ashwin will be wondering, like, his retirement has now opened up such a massive 538 wicket void that what needs to be done? So that is why now Ravichandran Ashwin is very heartbroken, not just by the loss, but by the way how India applied themselves on day 5. There was just no fight. The spirit seemed to have gone. The body language was abysmal. And there are several people who are like pointing out that, yes, this Indian cricket team now, there is something seriously wrong. Because now you're 5th. People now are just wanting to come, do well in India, get out-bowled, and that is where now the home team faces a real challenge when it comes to this. So that is the first major bit, that Ashwin is truly heartbroken by whatever has happened. But Temba Bavuma has offered a clarification on the Grovel jibe that was directed by head coach Shukri Conrad against the Indian team. Now, many people have found that objectable, but one has to also remember that Temba Bavuma was subjected to the Bona jibe during Kolkata. Now, Bona is a kind of a term that is used to mock dwarfism. Yes, many people will argue, what is the other word for it? There is no other word for it, unfortunately. So, Temba Bavuma also said that certain lines were crossed by many Indian players. And that is why this Grovel jibe, it is not racist. Let's be very honest about it. Grovel isn't racist. You look up the definition, that's how it is. But was it necessary? That is debatable. It was disrespectful? Maybe. It might have been disrespectful. But there is good news for Australia on 2 fronts, because Hazlewood and Cummins have started bowling. Now, is there a chance that Hazlewood and Cummins might feature in the pink ball test against England at the Gabba? Because now you are just another week away. You got 1 week now, the gap, because of the 2-day finish that happened. So if Hazlewood and Cummins are both fit, and then you get in a Scott Boland and a Mitchell Starc, boy, oh boy, does that pace attack look intimidating. England were dealt a big jolt at Perth, and that is why now they'll have an uphill task if Hazlewood and Cummins come back for Brisbane. But speaking about the Perth wicket that is there, 2-day test match, what would you think the rating would have been? Unsatisfactory, very poor, average? None. The ICC have rated the Perth pitch very good. Because let's be very honest about it, it was just bad batting by both teams in the first innings. England on the second innings also, they batted very poorly. Look at the balls that were there, look at the shots that they played. It indeed meant that, yes, the Perth wicket was good to bat on. Look at how Travis Head managed. Travis Head got 123 of 83. The pitch was starting to flatten out. England, if they had applied themselves, they could have easily gotten a big score. But no, they didn't want to apply themselves. So, the Perth wicket has been rated very good at this point. Now, today is the last league game of the tri-series featuring Sri Lanka, Pakistan and Zimbabwe, and Sri Lanka have to win against Pakistan. If they don't beat Pakistan, then it will be a Pakistan-Zimbabwe final in the tri-series. So that's why Zimbabwe have managed to pull off some upsets in this tournament. Now, if Pakistan lose to Sri Lanka, then it will be a Pakistan-Sri Lanka final. But if it is Sri Lanka who lose, then it's a Pakistan-Zimbabwe final. Then, on the other hand, there is criticism, though, from Mohammad Siraj, not on Guwahati, but on the travel. Mohammad Siraj has criticized Air India on his Twitter post, in which he mentioned the delay that took place from Guwahati to Hyderabad. There was just no communication whatsoever. Why? There was an unexpected 4-hour delay from Guwahati to Hyderabad. And that is why he has said, don't travel by this aircraft. And that's why Mohammad Siraj has really vented his frustrations out on this current situation that is plaguing Air India. There was a delay. Why was there no clear-cut communication? That is what Mohammad Siraj wants to know. Then, shifting our attention to hockey, India have beaten Malaysia in a thriller in the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup 4-3. They managed to beat them 4-3. They have bounced back after their loss to Belgium in the previous match. But now, after this, Malaysia, it's a narrow escape for India's young team who are also kind of in a transitionary process at this point in time. But their matches are only going to get difficult at this point in time because they will take on New Zealand in their game that's going to take place today. And remember, the Black Sticks have always been rather tricky opponents for the Indians. Yes, the Indians have got a good head-to-head record against them, but it is going to be very, very difficult at this point in time. Then, in the Syed Modi International, most of the Indian players have made good progress, but Tanvi Sharma faces her ultimate test when she faces Nozomi Okuhara. Okuhara, remember, was the former world number 1. Now she's currently in a dip, but it'll be the ultimate test for Tanvi Sharma. If she can get the better of Okuhara, then it'll be great at this stage. And we round off our morning wrap with the Champions League because Arsenal have managed to beat Bayern Munich for the first time in 10 years in the UEFA Champions League. And that's why Arsenal are really doing well in the Champions League. On the other hand, Liverpool have lost to PSV Eindhoven 4-1. And the wheels are really coming off Liverpool at this point in time. It's not a good situation for them at this stage. So we will be building up to the ODI series now. The Test series is done. ODI series begins from the 30th between India and South Africa, as well as for the Ashes that begins on the 4th. Let's see how that pans out. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.